All right, so get this.
Okay.
Today, we're diving into a book that's planning for the next 1,000 years.
Wow.
Not just the next 5 or 10.
Okay.
It's called The Eternal Plan, A Mother's Wisdom for Humanity's Survival for the Next 1,000 Years by Ravindra Raj BM. Have you ever thought about what the world might look like that far into the future?
It's certainly not your typical time frame.
Right.
When I saw the title, I had to know more.
Yeah.
A 1,000-year plan.
I know.
What could that even entail?
Well, the book starts with this really powerful image.
Okay.
A mother and her child watching the sunset. It's beautiful, but also kind of melancholic. They're talking about the future, and you get this sense of urgency. Like,
Right.
how do we make sure humanity even has a future?
It's interesting how the author uses that mother-child relationship as a framing device.
Yeah.
It taps into something primal, right? That instinct to protect future generations.
Yeah.
And the book argues that right now, humanity's survival is actually on pretty shaky ground.
Yeah. I mean, we hear about climate change, resource depletion, all these threats. But it's easy to push those to the back of your mind.
Yeah.
This book really forces you to confront them head on.
Right.
It claims that we're at a tipping point and survival isn't guaranteed.
Wow.
It's something we have to actively fight for.
So the book lays out what it calls 6 pillars for ensuring humanity's survival.
Okay.
These are essentially core principles that need to guide our actions over the next millennium.
Okay.
Sustainability, space exploration, knowledge preservation, technological innovation, global collaboration, and education and cultural legacy.
6 pillars holding up 1,000 years. That's a lot of weight for each one to carry.
It is.
Let's start with sustainability.
Okay.
It's a term we hear all the time.
Sure.
But what's the book's unique take on it?
It goes beyond just recycling and reducing our carbon footprint.
Okay.
The book argues that true sustainability means living in complete harmony with nature. It paints this picture of a future where we've figured out how to replenish resources at the same rate we consume them.
Wow.
Almost like mimicking the natural cycles of the earth.
So not just taking from the planet, but actually contributing to its well-being.
Yeah.
That's a pretty different way of thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's about creating a closed-loop system where waste becomes a resource.
Interesting.
For example, the book talks about biomimicry,
Okay.
using nature's own designs as inspiration for sustainable technologies. Imagine buildings that purify the air, like giant trees or transportation systems modeled after efficient biological processes.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next pillar.
Okay.
Space exploration.
All right.
Now, I'll admit, I always thought this was kind of a sci-fi pipe dream.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll just jet off to another planet if Earth gets too messed up.
Right.
But this book argues it's about much more than finding a planet B.
Exactly.
'Cause
Space exploration, according to the book, is a catalyst for innovation. The challenges of establishing a presence beyond Earth would force us to develop groundbreaking technologies that could then be applied to solving problems here at home.
Okay.
Think about the advancements in energy efficiency, material science,
Okay.
even closed-loop life support systems that would be required for a Martian colony.
Right.
Those innovations could have a huge impact on how we live sustainably on Earth.
So pushing the boundaries of what's possible out in space could actually help us solve some of our most pressing problems down here.
Yes.
That's a pretty neat connection.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have knowledge preservation.
Okay.
Which sounds, I don't know, kind of academic and dusty at first glance, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's more to it than just archiving old books.
Much more.
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay.
All of human history, culture, scientific discoveries, artistic expression, it's all stored as knowledge.
Right.
And the book argues that if we want to survive as a species, we need to protect that knowledge as fiercely as we protect our physical resources.
But isn't all that stuff already backed up on servers and in libraries?
Wow.
What's the big threat?
The book dives into some pretty sobering scenarios.
Okay.
Imagine a massive solar flare wiping out our digital infrastructure,
Oh, wow.
or a global conflict leading to the destruction of physical archives.
Okay.
It argues that we need a multi-layered approach to knowledge preservation,
Okay.
one that combines digital storage with more analog methods.
Analog, like chiseling knowledge into stone tablets.
Well, maybe not that extreme,
Okay.
But the book does talk about diversifying storage methods.
Okay.
Think about creating physical archives in geographically diverse locations,
Okay.
using resilient materials, and even developing new forms of encoding information that are resistant to degradation or technological obsolescence. It's about thinking long-term, way beyond the lifespan of our current hard drives or cloud servers.
That's a whole different level of thinking about knowledge, not just as data, but almost as a living thing that needs to be nurtured and protected for generations to come.
Yeah.
It's like we're becoming caretakers of human history itself.
That's a great way to put it.
Wow.
And the book takes it even further, suggesting we establish a global network of knowledge keepers, individuals and institutions dedicated to preserving and transmitting this knowledge across centuries.
Wow.
Imagine a lineage of scholars, artists, and scientists passing down the torch of human ingenuity from one generation to the next.
That's a powerful image.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these pillars really interconnect, but I'm also getting a sense that we're just scratching the surface here.
We are.
Wow.
And there's so much more to uncover as we dive deeper into the book's 1,000-year plan and explore the fascinating story of how it all unfolds.
You know, when we were talking about those knowledge keepers,
Yeah.
it made me wonder what kind of knowledge would be considered most essential for humanity's survival 1,000 years from now? Would it be our scientific discoveries, our cultural stories, or something completely different that we haven't even thought of yet?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the book actually addresses that.
Okay.
It emphasizes that preserving a diversity of knowledge is key.
Okay.
It's not just about scientific formulas or historical records.
Yeah.
It's also about preserving art, music, philosophy, even traditional crafts and skills.
Okay.
The things that make us human,
Yeah.
that connect us to our past and inspire us to create the future.
It's like we're assembling a survival kit for humanity.
Yeah.
But instead of just food and water, we're packing in creativity, compassion, and wisdom.
I like that.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the next pillar,
Okay.
technological innovation.
All right.
I have to admit, when I think about technology 1,000 years from now, my mind goes straight to flying cars and teleportation.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm guessing the book has a more grounded perspective.
Well, it certainly doesn't shy away from exploring the possibilities of advanced technology, but the emphasis is on using innovation to solve humanity's most pressing challenges, not just creating cool gadgets.
Right.
The book argues that technology is a tool,
Yeah.
and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
So it's not just about what we can invent,
Right.
but what we should invent.
Exactly.
Okay.
The book challenges us to think critically about the ethical implications of our technological advancements.
Okay.
For example, it raises questions about artificial intelligence. How do we ensure AI is aligned with human values?
Right.
How do we prevent unintended consequences that could threaten our survival?
It's like we need to be careful not to create tools that could ultimately turn against us.
Right.
Yeah.
The book emphasizes that technological innovation needs to go hand in hand with wisdom and foresight.
Okay.
It envisions a future where technology enhances human capabilities rather than replacing or controlling them.
And that brings us to global collaboration. I think we can all agree that humanity hasn't exactly had the best track record when it comes to working together.
Right.
But this book argues it's absolutely essential for our survival, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It paints a picture of a future where national borders and ideological differences become less significant than our shared goal of ensuring humanity's long-term survival.
Right.
It talks about establishing global institutions focused on addressing issues like climate change,
Okay.
resource management, and conflict resolution.
So instead of competing against each other,
Yeah,
we're all on the same team working towards a common goal.
exactly.
Okay.
And this is where the final pillar comes in,
Okay.
education and cultural legacy.
Right.
The book argues that we need to raise future generations with a global mindset, instilling values of cooperation, empathy, and responsibility for the planet.
It's like we need to rewrite the story of humanity,
Yeah,
moving away from narratives of competition and dominance
right.
towards a story of interconnectedness and shared destiny.
I like that.
Yeah.
Rewriting the story of humanity.
Yeah.
And that's where cultural legacy plays a crucial role.
Okay.
The book emphasizes the importance of passing down the best of what humanity has to offer.
Right.
Our art, our music, our stories of resilience and compassion to inspire future generations and remind them of what's truly important.
It makes you think about what kind of legacy we're leaving behind, not just in terms of physical things, but also in terms of the values and ideas we pass on.
It does.
Okay, we've talked about the 6 pillars, but I'm still really curious about this 1,000-year plan.
Yeah.
Is it a rigid roadmap with specific tasks for each century, or more of a guiding philosophy?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
The book lays out a framework for thinking about the next millennium, dividing it into 10 phases,
Okay.
each spanning a century.
Okay.
Each phase has broad goals and focuses on specific advancements across the 6 pillars.
So what are some of the key milestones in this plan? What does humanity achieve as it progresses through these phases?
Well, the early centuries focus on laying the groundwork for long-term survival.
Okay.
Think of it as building a strong foundation for the house that will shelter humanity for the next 1,000 years. This includes achieving global sustainability, establishing off-world settlements, and creating those robust knowledge preservation systems we talked about.
So kind of battening down the hatches and making sure we can withstand any storms that come our way.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it's not all about survival.
Yeah.
As we move further into the millennium, the plan becomes increasingly ambitious.
Okay.
It talks about unlocking the full potential of human consciousness, exploring new dimensions of reality, and even venturing beyond our solar system.
Whoa, that's getting into some pretty mind-bending territory.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the plan isn't just about avoiding disaster. It's
Yeah.
also about pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and experience.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about thriving, not just surviving. And throughout the timeline, there's this constant emphasis on collaboration and knowledge sharing.
Yeah.
The book envisions a future where humanity is united by a common purpose, not divided by artificial borders or ideologies.
It's a powerful vision, but also a daunting one.
It is.
I mean, changing the course of human history is no small feat.
Right.
And that brings us back to Arian the young boy from the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
We know he plays a key role in enacting this plan, but how does he go from being a child watching the sunset to becoming a leader on this 1,000-year journey?
Well, as Arian grows up, he becomes increasingly aware of the threats facing humanity and the urgency of his mother's vision. She entrusts him with a final gift,
Okay.
a beautifully crafted box containing encrypted messages and instructions that hold the key to enacting the 1,000-year plan.
So it's like a treasure map guiding him on his quest to save humanity.
More like a blueprint for the future.
Okay.
These messages contain scientific breakthroughs, technological designs, and even philosophical insights that could help humanity navigate the challenges ahead. Arian dedicates his life to deciphering these messages and rallying others to join the cause.
It sounds like a pretty heavy burden for one person to carry,
Yeah,
but I'm guessing he doesn't do it alone.
you're right.
Okay.
He assembles a team of brilliant minds and passionate individuals who share his vision.
Okay.
Scientists, artists, educators, people from all walks of life who believe in the possibility of a better future.
It's a reminder that even the grandest plans require collective effort.
They do.
And you mentioned earlier that the book weaves together these big picture ideas with the very personal story.
Yeah.
What kind of impact does this journey have on Arian himself?
It's not just about saving humanity.
Right.
It's also about Arian's own personal growth and transformation.
Okay.
He faces setbacks, doubts, and even betrayals along the way.
Wow.
But through it all, he learns the true meaning of leadership, the power of compassion, and the importance of holding on to hope, even in the darkest of times.
It's a reminder that the fight for the future is not just about technological advancements or political strategies.
Right.
It's also about the choices we make as individuals, the values we uphold, and the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of.
I think that's a key takeaway from the book.
Yeah.
It's not just about predicting the future.
Right.
It's about empowering us to create it.
And that brings us to a pivotal moment in the story. The sending of the signal. We've hinted at it a few times, but I'm dying to know more.
Yeah.
What is this signal and what impact does it have on the world? Okay, we're back, and I'm ready for the big reveal. What is the signal and how does it shake things up?
Well, imagine a global event
Okay.
so profound, so undeniable, that it forces humanity to confront the reality of its situation.
Okay.
That's the essence of the signal. The book is intentionally vague about the specifics,
Okay.
but it suggests that the signal is timed to coincide with a critical point in history,
Okay.
a moment where our collective choices will determine the fate of humanity.
So it's not just a message. It's a catalyst for change, something that pushes us to the edge and forces us to make a decision. and cling to the old ways or embrace a new path.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the book explores how different people and cultures react to the signal. Some are inspired, some are terrified, some are skeptical.
Right.
There are those who see it as a sign of hope,
Yeah.
a chance for a fresh start,
Okay.
while others view it as a threat to their power or their way of life.
I can imagine there would be a lot of chaos and uncertainty.
Yeah.
How does Arian and his team navigate that? Do they become like global leaders guiding humanity through this turbulent time?
It's not that simple.
Okay.
The book emphasizes that change doesn't happen overnight,
Right.
and there's no single leader or organization that can magically fix everything.
Right.
Arian and his team face resistance from powerful forces who benefit from the status quo,
Yeah.
as well as from those who simply fear the unknown.
So it becomes a battle of ideas, a struggle to win hearts and minds, not just territories or resources.
Precisely. And the book highlights the importance of storytelling in this process.
Okay.
Arian and his team use art,
Yeah.
music, even immersive virtual reality experiences to help people grasp the scope of the challenges facing humanity
Right.
and the potential for a brighter future.
It's almost like they're creating a new mythology for the future, a story that can unite people around a common purpose.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
They understand that facts and figures alone aren't enough to inspire change. You need to touch people's hearts to ignite their imaginations, to give them a story they can believe in.
And this brings us back to the importance of preserving our cultural legacy, right? Those stories, those works of art, those expressions of human creativity and resilience, they become even more vital in a world grappling with existential challenges.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The book argues that we need to draw on the wisdom of the past to navigate the uncertainties of the future.
Right.
It's about remembering who we are, where we come from, and what we're capable of achieving when we work together.
So does the book have a happy ending? Does humanity successfully implement the eternal plan and create this utopian future 1,000 years from now?
Well, the book doesn't offer easy answers or simplistic solutions.
Right.
It acknowledges that the future is inherently unpredictable.
Yeah.
And there will always be challenges and setbacks along the way.
Okay.
But it also suggests that humanity has the potential to create a future where we live in greater harmony with each other and with the planet.
So it's not about reaching a final destination, but about embarking on a journey of continuous learning, adaptation, and growth.
Exactly.
Okay.
The book leaves us with a sense of hope,
Yeah.
but also a sense of responsibility. It reminds us that the future is not something that simply happens to us.
Yeah.
It's something we actively create through our choices and actions.
And it challenges us to ask ourselves some pretty profound questions. What kind of future do we want to build? What values will guide us? What stories will we tell about ourselves and our place in the universe?
Those are questions that each of us needs to grapple with,
Yeah.
individually and collectively.
Okay.
And the eternal plan provides a framework for having those conversations,
Yeah.
for thinking beyond our immediate concerns and considering the long-term consequences of our choices.
It's a call to action, an invitation to become architects of our own destiny. And on that note, we leave you with one final thought from The Eternal Plan. The future is not a destination, it's a direction. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the possibilities of a 1,000-year plan for humanity.